Hello everyone, we're back here with part 2 of chapter 5 of Reincarnation, the Law of Karma, which someone's facing right now. And we're reading the Hindus. This book teaches about, especially in twin flame connections, same soul flame connections. If you, the push-pull dynamic, if you do bad to your twin, karma comes right back to you because twin has a light and dark side. So I met my twin about a year ago, but I started noticing about my twin, like who that person really is, about 3 months ago. And this person is my shadow side. I'm the light, and that person's the dark. So I'm here to heal. Well, I'm here to heal that person, but the person got to heal themselves. But I'm here to shine light and heal people. I'm meant to be a healer. So that person is my shadow. We're the yin and yang. So when that person lies to authorities or lies to anybody else, face consequences. Then that backfires on my own shadow, which is my past life. Or if that person does bad to me, vice versa, it backfires back to them or backfires back to me because we are the same soul. If you ever heard of polarity shift, negative, positive energy, energetically connected, it goes back to one another. So if I did bad to my twin, it backfires to me. Like for example, if I called the police on my twin, that backfires to me, like lying to the police. Or if I did bad, or if my twin did bad to me, it backfires me. If I did bad on my twin, it backfires on me. And if that person did bad to me, it goes backfire. And that's how the law of karma reincarnation works when you have a twin. So we're going to continue here. Another great school of Hindu philosophy is known as the Vedanta philosophy, which may be considered the most advanced for all Hindu systems, and which is rapidly growing up polarity among the educated Hindus and also among many very intelligent students of the philosophical thought in the Western world. Its followers claim that the Vedanta philosophy has reached the very highest point of philosophical thought, speculation, and analysis possible to the human mind today. And the Western world, students have claimed that it contains the highest conceptions found in many of all the great philosophers, be it as many this as it may. It certainly contains much as the most suitable, refined, keen of the field of the philosophical, speculative thought of the world, and while as some claim they may lack the appeal to the religious emotions that the other forms of thought possess, still may be proved to be attractive to those in whom intellectual development and the effort have superdated emotional side of philosophical religion. The Vedanta system has ultimate reality, factor being the universe, that the one absolute energy, the substance from the which all the universe proceeds, is that they may be called to the absolute, which is the eternal, infinite, indivisible, beyond attributes and qualities, and which is the source of intelligence. The absolute is held the one, not many, the unique, not alone, is identical to the Sanskrit Brahman, and is held to that which is now called the unknowable. The Father, the oversoul, the thing in itself, in short, is that which men mean that have always meant when they wish they express the absolute reality. The Vedantas hold the absolute Brahman is the essence that the absolute existence, chit or absolute intelligent ananda, absolute bliss. Without attempting to enter the analysis or close exposition of the Vedanta philosophy, so far concerned of the soul and its destiny, we may have this hold that do not exist the countless internal immortal souls or prayas of the Sankha philosophy, but instead the individual souls are but the countless images or reflections of being an absolute Brahman, of which their existence is the only reason of the real existence of the one only being.
Consequently, the spirits within the soul of man, and which is the soul of his soul, is divine. The Vedantist admits the existence of the logos, or Ishwara, the Lord of the universe, who is, however, but the manifestations of Brahman, a Brahman, a great soul as it were, and who presides over the evaluations of the universe from the Prakriti, and who plays the parts of the marriage of all of the old Grecians of the gymnastics philosophies. The Vedantins admits the existence I can't even read them more. Relative of Prakriti or universal energies, but hold that it is not eternal or real in itself, but is practically identical with Maya and may be regarded as the form of the creative energies of the absolute Brahman. This Maya, which while strictly speaking is illusions, in as much as it has no real existence or internal equality, the source of the time, space, and causations, that of the phenomenal universe, which is countless forms, shapes, and appearances. The Vedantis teaches that the evaluations of the souls is accomplished by its escaping the whole of the Maya, or materiality, one by means of rebirth until it manifests more and more of its divine natures, and thus it goes on and on from higher to still higher, until at last it enters into the divine beings and intense unions with gods, and is one of the father. Another great Hindu philosophies is the philosophy of Gautama, the Buddha, which is generally known as the Buddhist philosophies or the Buddhisms. It is difficult to give a clear idea of Buddhisms in a concept form, for there are so many schools, sects, and divisions among these general schools of philosophies, differing upon the minor points and details of doctrine. That is requires a lengthy considerations in order to clear away the disputed points. Speaking generally, however, it may be said that the Buddhist starts with the idea or conceptions of the unknowable reality, back and forth, back of the under all forms and activities of the phenomenal universe. Buddhas refuse to discuss the natures of these realities, practically wholly to be unknowable, and in the natures of the absolute nothing, rather than an absolute something in the sense of thingness, as we understand the term. That is to say, it is a no thing rather than a thing. Consequently, it is beyond thought, understanding, or even imagination. All that can be said is that it is. Buddha refused to discuss or teach the manner of which this unknowable came to manifest upon the relative plan. For he held that man's proper study was of the world of things, and how to escape their forms in a vogue way. However, Buddhism holds it in some ways to unknowable, or a part of their force becomes entangled in Maya or illusions through avidya or ignorance, law, necessity, or perhaps something in the natures of mistakes, and arising from the mistaken activities. All the pains and sorrows of the universe arises for the Buddhas. hold that the universe is a world of hope from which the soul is trying to escape. Buddhism holds that the soul is reincarnated, often because of its desires and attractions, which is nursed and encouraged, would lead into lives without number. Consequently, to the Buddhist, wisdom consists in inquiring a knowledge of the true states of fear just mentioned, and then upon the knowledge, building up a new life in which desire and attractions for the materials world shall be eliminated, to the end of the soul's having killed it or desire for material things, having cut off the dead branch of the illusions, is enabled to escape from karma and eventually to be released from rebirth. Thence, passing back into the great oceans of the unknowable or nirvana, and casing to be so far of the phenomenal world is concerned, although of course it will exist in the unknowable, which is eternal. Many Western readers imagine Buddhistics and nirvana to be an utter annihilation of existence and being, but the Hindu's mind is far more subtle and sees a vast difference between the utter annihilations on the one hand and extensions of personalities on the other. That which appears nothingness to the Western's mind is seen as nothingness to the Oriental's conceptions, and it is considered more of the receptions of the original's real existence rather than an ending thereof. There is a great difference between the two great schools of Buddhism and Northern and Southern, respectively, regarding to the nature of the souls. The Northern schools consider the souls as the entities differentiated from the unknowable in some mysterious way not explained by Buddha, and yet different from the individuals Purusha of the Sankhya schools before mentioned. One of the contraries of the Southern schools does not regard the soul as a differentiated or distant entities, but rather as a century of the phenomenal activities, saturated or changed with the result of its deed, and that's therefore the karma or the essence of deeds may be considered as a soul itself, rather than as something pertaining to it. The Northern schools hold that the soul, accompanied by its karmas, reincarnates along the same lines as those taught by all other Hindu schools of reincarnations and karma. But the Southern schools and the contraries hold that it is not the soul's entities that reincarnated, for there is not such entities, but instead of it is a karma or essence of death that reincarnates from life to life according to its attractions, desires, and merits or demerits. In the last mentioned view of the case, the rebirth of compared to the lightning of one lamp from a flame of another, rather in the transference of the oil from one lamp to another. But really, these distinctions are quite metaphysical, and when refined by analysis, become here splittings. It is said that the two schools of Buddhism are growing nearer together, and their differences reconcile. The outdoor Hindus claim that Buddhism is on the decline in India, being largely supplanted by the various forms of the Vedanta. On the other hand, Buddhism has spread in China, Japan, and other countries, where it has taken new forms and has grown into religions of ritualisms, creeds, and ceremonialisms, too, with an accompanying loss of the original philosophies or the corresponding increases of details of teachings, doctrines, and disciples, and general churchiness include a belief in several thousands different kind of hills, but even in the degenerate forms, Buddhism still holds the reincarnations as fundamental doctrine, and these considerations of the philosophies of India, we do not consider it necessary to go into and explanations of the various forms of religions or church divisions among the Hindus. In India, religions is an important matter, and there seems to be some forms of religions adapted to each one of that country's teeming millions, from the grossest forms of religious, superstitious, and crudest forms of ceremonies and worships, up to the most refined idealisms and beautiful symbolisms, runs the gamut of the Hindu religions. Many people are unable to conceive of the abstract ideal universe beings, such as the Brahman of the Hindus philosophy, and consequently that being has been personified as an anthropomorphic deity, and human attributes bestowed upon him to suit the popular fancy. In India, as in other countries, the priesthood has given people that which they asked for, and the result is that many forms of the churchly ceremonialisms form the worships maintains which are abhorrent and repulsive to Western's idea. But we of the West are not entirely free from by this spot, as one may see if he examines some of the religious conceptions and ceremonies common among ignorant peoples in remote parts of our land. Certain conceptions of any anthropomorphic deities held by some and more of the more ignorant peoples in the Western world are but little advanced beyond the idea of the devil, and the belief in a horn, cloven hoofed, spiked tails, red colored, and serene like leering devils, with his heels and eternal fire and brimstone, is not such uncommon as many imagine. It has not been so long since we were taught that one of the chief pleasures of the gods and his angels and the state of souls will be the witnesses of the tortures of the damned in hell from the walls of heaven.
Yes.
What's that?
Look, Pisces, Aries, Sagittarius, Libra, twin flames, see? Like, these are everything is between separation for both, attraction for both, trust in divine time for both, union, hopefully, for both, between cycles for both. This is on his side, ego, deception, toxicity. My side, self-love, freedom, truth, growth, and third eye. Put them all together, makes perfect thing.
How did you put it all together like that?
Because I draw the cards and I just match them to their sides.
Oh, so you just like match it up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were going to readings and you were doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I was doing the cards. This is how the reading would look in order, how you go through a story. Remember? Among?
Yep.
It's pretty much done. Okay, among the various forms of the religions of India, we find that some before mentioned forms of philosophy believe that taught among the educated people, often in the eclectic policy of choosing, the selecting being observed, a most liberal policy of being observed, the liberty of choice, selection being freely accorded, but there's always a belief of reincarnation and karma. No matter what form of the worship of the name of the religion, there are two things that the Hindu always accepts as fundamental truth, needing no proof of animosity in fact. And these are two our soul belief in the soul that survives in the death of the body. The Hindu mind seems unable to differentiate between the both conscious and the I am and I always have been and always shall be. The knowledge of the present existence being accepted, the proof and past and the future existence, and the doctrine of reincarnation and the karma, which are accepted as fundamental and animostic truths beyond the need proof of the beyond doubt of the writer has said the idea of reincarnation has always been so firmly fixed and rooted in the Hindu mind as a set part of belief with an ounce of dignity and the force of moral conviction. No matter what may only be the theories of regarding the nature of the universal character of the soul or the conception of the concerning deity or the supreme being of, you always find the differing sects, schools and individuals accepting reincarnation and karma as they accept the fact that they themselves are existent, or that twice one makes two. Hindu philosophy cannot be divorced from the reincarnation. To the Hindu, the only escape from the doctrine of reincarnation seems to be along the road of materialism of the West. From the from the above statement, we may only accept the Hindu Mohammedans and the native Hindu Christians partially, although carefully observers say that even these do not entirely escape the current belief of the country, and strictly entertain a mental reservation in their heterodox creed, so that they see we are justified in considering India as the mother of the land of reincarnation at the present time. Okay, everyone, that is the end of chapter 5. We are halfway through the book. Wait a second. We are close to half the book. We have 7 more chapters to read of this book, and then I'll move on there to one more book before the end of the year.
Here.
Yes. Most likely after this next book, we're going to start doing our reading our material book for when we go to school, either CNA or something in the medical field, or counseling, or both. To review our material, to also help us grasp the material by reading it also online, but also help us to gather facts and ideas and help us become a better person, and also understand our true identity of the career we're doing. So this is the book of Reincarnation and the Law of Karma, everyone. So whoever wants to pick up this book in the store, it is by William Walker Atkinson. We picked this up in was it Denver, Colorado? Denver, Colorado. You can also order this on Amazon or look it up on any other book websites. It's a really good book to understand the law of karma and dealing with your twin and past lives. See right here, there's 2 circles. Like a yin yang. So one, you do bad, you think that this is you and this is your twin. So if you do bad to your twin, it circles back to you. Vice versa, if the twin does bad to you, it circles back to you. Is that what it means? See how there's 2? So the snake, right? So this is me, this is that my twin. So if I do bad to a twin, it circles right back, it loops right back to me, right? Because we're energetically connected. That's what the law of karma is, reincarnation. So just make sure if you ever meet your twin, make sure it's not about revenge, it's about understanding who you are and who that other person is, and if that person doesn't get right, then you can just move on without that person. Because we live in a time and age where even though we encounter our own past lives, especially a twin, we're still our own personal self. If that person doesn't get right, if the person doesn't understand what you want, then you can just move on from that person, because that person may be stuck in a low vibrational third eye, or what is it? Third
Third eye?
no, that person may be stuck in like we're in fifth dimension, he's third. Yeah, that person may be stuck in 3D, and we're in 5D. We're more spiritual, and that person may be stuck in 3D. Don't understand the full aspect of what spiritual connections are, what it's all meant to be, and what twin flames are. Because either that person doesn't want to understand, or maybe they want to understand but they don't want it because they're being manipulated by a third party or the people surrounding them, or that person just want to just fit with society and believe in whatever they want, but in the end they believe in all lie and we live in the truth. So that's the end of this chapter, and we'll continue reading the Modern West, which is chapter 6 next book. Thank you everyone. Bye bye now.
Bye.